What are you going to do? There's 6,000 of them in that last month alone. I say put them in foster family homes. Don't put them in these prisons, Sean.
And, Dan Bongino, the stay in Mexico policy, that's gone. Now with the incentive of amnesty hanging out there, we're going to see illegal immigration on a mass scale return to this country.
Yes.
They're going to stop building the wall. They won't even fill the holes that need to be filled in the wall. And the reality is we can compassionately, lovingly ensure the safe passage of people back to their homes where they came from.
You're right, Sean, and you just described perfectly why this set of incentives we're providing is creating the problem. When you do things like amnesty-type programs and you provide a portfolio of benefits available nowhere else in the world to people who basically flip off our laws and come here illegally, it shouldn't be a shocker to any sane person that you're going to get more people coming here illegally. But my beef with Geraldo's approach, and I'm not saying he's a liberal, but other liberals I debate on immigration, is they always start to say,
Can I interrupt
maybe I am
here?
saying he's a liberal.
Geraldo's got a lot of liberal in him. He certainly
he does,
think
but
like
I don't want him to start yelling just yet. So I want to get through this point.
I'm roadkill. That's what they call a moderate in the middle of the road, roadkill.
All right, Dan.
Yeah, all right, we'll see. Not on immigration, but they start the story in the middle. Geraldo says, oh my gosh, what are we going to do about all these kids coming here? Well, it's a 12-chapter book, and notice how he starts in chapter 6, and he ignores the foreword and chapter 1 through 5. Well, why are these kids coming here in the first place? Because of people like Geraldo, who continuously argue for lax enforcement and other things, which provides incentives for more people to come here. I've got news for you. If you just stopped advocating for weak immigration policy, people who wanted to come to the United States would come here legally. This is not a complicated problem to figure out. You are the problem. You're not the solution when you ask, what are we going to do? The answer is something. Something. Stop starting the story in the middle.
Geraldo. I disagree completely. Everybody in Central America wants to live in the United States. Most of the people in Mexico want to live in the United States. Most of the people in the world want to live in the United States. We have to deal with this relentless flow of needy people. Take the southern border as an example. Here you have the cities of Dallas and Houston and El Paso and all of Tucson and Albuquerque and jobs and potential wealth for these people. On the other hand, go 100 miles south and they can't find enough to eat. There's a desperate poverty. What are you going to do? Here you're a dad, you got 3 kids. And 100 miles away, you know that you could get a job to feed these kids, maybe give them a different life than you. What the hell are you going to do? What are you going to do? If you're the dad, what are you going to do? I know your heart, Sean. I know your heart. You have a good heart.
I will even argue that if I was in that situation and I saw a job and an opportunity and a better life for my family, I might even do what they do. In other words, come illegally. I can see your point. Here's the thing. If you want to come here, I don't care where you come from. You can be part of our American family. Prove you don't
Coronavirus.
prove you don't have some type of illness. Show us that you can take care of yourself and you won't be dependent on the American people. Go through the process, respect our laws, our borders, and our sovereignty. If you do those things, welcome to our American family. I don't care where you come from.
Sean, the argument to make that,
I think that
notice
that's reasonable.
Here's the trick Geraldo just played. He conflates 2 separate things. He says, well, a lot of people want to come to the United States. Okay, great. A lot of people want to go to New Zealand, too. That has nothing to do with the fact that the United States has an unusual number of people in the country illegally. Why? Because we've set up you ignored my question completely. We've set up a series of incentives that allows people to break the law, come here, and face no punishment at all. That has nothing to do with the fact that we're a wealthy country and people want to live here. People want to live in a lot of wealthy countries. Why do we uniquely have a really bad illegal immigration problem? The answer is because we reward illegal immigration. This is not complicated. Figure it out, man.
You know what's different, Dan? What's different is we are a nation built by immigrants. Every one of us, you and Sean and
legal
me,
immigrants.
Our forebears all came from abroad, all came from someplace else. I'm 10% Native American. I've got a bigger claim to the United States than most people.
Hey,
I'm 10%
Geraldo,
Native
one other
American.
point, though. We're a nation of laws,
Legal
Geraldo.
immigrants.
Respect our laws, respect our
but
borders, respect our sovereignty, follow the process.
Again, Geraldo, this is what you just said is not an argument. It's a nice emotional appeal, but again, it's not an. You do this all the time. You use emotion and you try to make it a policy. We're a nation of immigrants. It's not an argument. It's just some assertion you made. And one, we're a nation of legal immigrants. Okay?
We have 11 million. We have 11 million undocumented in this country right now. You never hear about them. Why is that? Because they're hardworking.
Why? Because you have 330 million people here legally working hard too. 330 million Americans are in the country legally working really hard. What about them? What about them? You thought about them, or is it just the illegal immigrants that matter?
When you show me that they've been,
do they matter?
When they've been deprived of the job because of an immigrant.
No, I'm asking you a question. You should answer. What about the 330 million Americans in the country legally? Do they matter? Just a simple yes or no will suffice. Do they matter?
They absolutely matter. And if you're questioning my patriotism, you're on shaky grounds there, buddy. Because I love this country. I love this country, and I think that what Latinos have done for this country.
No, you're doing that.
Hey, Geraldo, let me make another point. We have how many millions of Americans out of work? Now, with the stroke of a pen, where we have Joe Biden wiping out high-paying career union jobs in the energy sector. So those are displaced workers.
Which I oppose.
Hang on. Now you're going to have 11 million. You're going to legalize 11 million. You're going to tell everybody, come here, wink, wink, nod, nod. We're not going to enforce the law. So what is that going to do to Americans that need work? It's going to now make the field more competitive and drive wages down. That doesn't help the American people.
Why is it, as we spoke last week, that millions of undocumented immigrants were deemed essential workers in the United States during the worst of the pandemic because they were the ones that were processing the poultry. They were the ones packing the meat. They were the ones harvesting the fruits and vegetables.
Right,
they were cleaning the toilets.
Dan,
they were doing the crap jobs.
Yeah, notice how Geraldo doesn't mention, my neighbor's kids who are working in the Publix, risking their butts too. They're actually in the country legally, Geraldo, paying attention. Do they matter? Or is it just the people illegally who ignored our laws? You seem to focus a lot on them and not about American citizens.
I got to break this.
No, it's not a cheap shot.